complain. Okay? And we ought not be that way if we are serving the one true and living God. Amen? Amen? Because the same God that brought them out of Egypt is the same God who's taking care of them right now.
That's right. That's right.
And listen, the 3 days have gone. They did take provisions with them, right? When they left. Now 3 days out, here they go. We hungry. We ain't got nothing to eat. We don't have nothing to drink. Well, if you drink up and ate up all the provisions that you took with you in 3 days, you ought to be a little hungry. Because you should have looked out for yourself. But that's another story. That ain't what we're here to talk about today. Look at verse 3. Verse 3 says, and the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For you have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Now, God just rescued them, and now they're complaining about being rescued. They said, listen, we're going to die. We could have just died right there in Egypt, and at least we'd have been full when we died. We could have ate all the food we wanted sitting right down there, and we'd have been full. But you know, again, people always find something to complain about. You know, young folks today, they basically do the same thing. I didn't ask to be born. I didn't ask to be born. Why am I going through all of this? You know, y'all brought me here. Get real sassy, don't we? And that's not limited to just young folks, okay? Old people complain too. And don't get me wrong. We have aches and pains, and you're going to have aches and pains. And if you don't have aches and pains, just keep living. You're going to get some. But I beg to ask anybody here, how much relief did you get from your pain by your complaining? I can answer. Nothing. Right. None. Your complaining didn't stop not one ache. It didn't stop not one pain. Now, if you didn't get up and do something about those aches and pains, you're going to have it. Amen? Amen. So the children of Israel said unto them, would to God had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. We just got sat by the pots and ate bread till we got full, till we were about to bust open. And for you have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or not. Right. See, what this lesson in a nutshell really is about is obedience. Obedience will sum this lesson up with one word: obedience. Right. God said, I'm going to do it. See how obedient you're going to be to what I tell you to do. Right. Yep. You see, God does the same thing with us. You know, he grants us some things that we ask him for. And he grants mostly everything that we need. Yeah, that's right. Okay? But he still wants to see how obedient are you going to be, and how gracious are you going to be to him taking care of those things for you. Yeah. And he does those things for us. Y'all remember the 10 lepers? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He healed them all, didn't he? He healed all 10. How many of the 10 were thankful and grateful and came back and said it? The answer is 1. Yes, 1. 1 person out of 10. Well, That's a good number. Because sometimes you can help 10 people and you won't hear a word from now.
Nobody.
So one is a good number. Okay? But these are the things that the Lord have to deal with and put up with us on a daily basis, on an hour by hour, minute by minute, day by day. Amen? The 5 says, it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Yes. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, at evening, then you shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning, then you shall see the glory of the Lord, for he that heareth your murmurings against the Lord, and what are we that you murmur against us? Now, Moses is telling them. Now, I can see you murmuring against the Lord because he's the one who can do something for you. Yeah. Why are you bothering me and Aaron?
Don't pick on me.
Why you want to pick on me? What can I do? You see those question marks by the statement? Look at verse 7. And what are we that you murmur against us?
Why are you bothering us?
Why are you bothering us, man? You know why? I'm going to tell you why. See, people like to deal with people who they can see,
touch.
That's who they want to deal with, you see, because if push comes to shove, and you listen, you got a bunch of rabble-rousers behind you, okay? So it's easy to go after two people when you got a whole bunch of folks behind you.
Agitated.
You see, listen, and I'm not making this political, but
deal with it.
I've had an opportunity to talk to some real staunch Trump supporters, okay? And my question is why? Why?
Yeah.
The answer that I've gotten from most of the people, not from everybody that I've ever talked to.
What do you see? I don't see.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
And all they can answer is pro-life. Pro-life. Okay, pro-life is good.
Yeah.
But what about the killing of other people?
Right.
What about the lies, the deceit, racism.
The one that born down there starving down there on the border down there.
What about them that's locked up in cages?
Right.
You know, they're not embryos or anything. They still are human beings.
Right.
What about them? All you get from them people at that point is silence. Yes. See, people want to have something to argue and fight about.
Yeah.
That's all they want. They don't even care what the cause is. They don't care. They just want to be arguing and fighting. Now here these people are, just 3 days out of Egypt. He done saw what the Lord did do for them, but now all of a sudden they got to complain. Okay. So then remember back here it said in verse 4, he want to see whether they will walk in my law or no or not. Mm-hmm. See, the Lord, he can and will do for you what he will. Yes, but at the same time, what will we do for him? What are we willing to do? Because we always have something that we can and should be doing for the Lord. If nothing but praising him every day, praising him for his goodness, praising him for the breath that we breathe. Amen?
Amen.
This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that the Lord hears your murmurings, which you murmur against him. And here we go again. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. Moses is trying to get this thing straight with these folks. Leave us alone, man.
Yeah.
Take it out with God. Fight with him. Okay? So then he says, and it came to pass as Aaron spoke unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud.
In the cloud.
And the Lord spoke to Moses. Now listen, these folks want to argue with the Lord, right? Now here's his glory in the cloud. How come they're not yelling and screaming up there? He actually manifested himself so you could see part of his glory. Right. Now why are you not screaming and hollering at him? Right. Okay? Yeah. And 11 says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, I have heard the murmurs of the children of Israel. You speak unto them, saying, at evening you shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God. Now, you want them to know who I am? Tell them this. In the morning, you're going to eat bread. And in the evening, you're going to eat some chicken. You're going to eat some meat. You're going to get some quail. Okay? Because he said, 13, and it came to pass that at evening the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay around about the host. Now let me just shed a little light on what's happening, on this phenomenon. Now this is a phenomenon, but quail is a migratory bird. And what it does, it migrates from one country to another, one area to another. God, in his all-knowing, knew, and one other thing about quails, they will fly from their one home to their other. God have these people so positioned in the wilderness that when these birds get to that area, they're going to be so tired that they're going to land. All of them. Now think about this. We're talking about millions of children of Israel. Millions of people, right? Can you imagine how many birds just landed? Can you imagine that God supplied all these people with all of these birds? And they landed. And I'm saying that for the people that says it couldn't have happened. But it did happen. And see, that little bit of what I gave was just for the naysayers or for it's the impossibilities, but it happens right now.
Yes, sir.
It happens right now. Those birds didn't quit migrating. Right. They didn't stop migrating, and they didn't stop flying, and they didn't stop getting tired, and they didn't stop landing. Right. Okay? If you want some quail, find out where their resting spot is, and go pick some up off the ground. Amen.
Well, teacher.
Come on.
God does that with the fish.
Pardon?
God does that with the fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys go out there and go fishing. God, you don't know where to go.
No.
You don't know where to. You don't know. You can read a book or whatever, but you don't know what directed them to come with, where you can catch them, where you can eat.
Amen. Now you're right. See, I'm glad you brought that up, because people say, I don't go fishing because I don't have a boat. I'm scared of boats. Every fish that is in the lake, in the water, let's just say in the water. Every fish that's in the water at some time or another during the seasons come to the shore to spawn. Okay. Now all you need to know is what type of fish you want, let's say perch, and what month of the year they spawn. You find out that a perch spawns in September. That's a bit of free information I'm giving y'all. Then all you got to do is go down to the lake and throw a minnow in or a worm in, and you're going to get some perch. Amen? That's free.
Yes, sir.
That's all you gotta do. God so fixed it that way. Now I just said perch, right? I'm glad you brought that up, Pastor. Because the walleye just left. They just left. The perch ain't coming in when the walleye there, because the walleye gonna eat the perch. Okay? So he waits till they wait till they leave, and then they come on in there and spawn and eat up what the droppings that they left. Okay? And then when they leave, the white bass will come right back in. I said back in because they was here in March. Now, who is there all the time? The catfish. He don't leave. Because he's going to eat up everything that's left on the bottom. All the droppings, he's going to eat that. He ain't going nowhere. Okay, back to our lesson. So birds are basically the same way. Woo, boy, Pastor, you don't know what you just did. Listen.
Thank you, man.
If you go out on the lake fishing for anything and you don't see them seagulls, go home.
Ain't nothing happening, huh?
Nothing happening. See, the birds eat off the top and the fish eat off the bottom of the water.
That's right. Wow.
Now, if the birds ain't flying, that means there ain't no bait fish, as we call it, in that area of the lake. Just that simple. Just that simple. It ain't rocket science, but it is knowledge. Okay? Now, 14. Oh, okay, 14. And when I'm gonna do 13 again. And it came to pass that even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as a hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. Now, I'm going to stop right there for 1 minute. Now, here's something on the ground that looked like it might be edible, but we don't really know what it is.
What it is.
We really don't know. And then you see where it says, for they wist not what it was. They actually named manna. What is it? That was their name for it. What is it? I don't know. What is it? That's like who's on first, right? But they really didn't. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the bread that he promised you. Okay? And then he goes, now let me tell you this too. In the entire Bible, you never see this word quail again. Now, he fed them with meat and he fed them with bread. You won't see that anymore. But we know that they have eaten meat and bread throughout, up until today, right? They just don't, I don't get into what they do and don't eat, because God said, you can eat what you want to eat if you bless it, because everything that he make is good.
It's good.
Now that's what he said. And God cannot lie. Cannot lie. Not don't lie now. I didn't say he don't lie. I said he cannot lie. And I stand on that.
All right.
So he gave you bread, which he promised you. He gave you meat. Yeah. And as you're going to see, as we go further into this lesson, or into this quarter, the murmuring don't ever stop. Right up until this day, the murmuring is continuing. And not just the Israelites, the Morrisites and the Juniorites and the Matthewites still murmur. Why? because we are who we are. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Any questions? We got 1 minute. Any questions?
Back to the fish.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Back to the fish.
But that I know.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Okay. Yeah, amen. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you out there in TV land.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Uh-oh.